Go on the road. Um, so yeah, last session, um, you guys had rested up just a bit and pulled the lever on the door leading into the next room. Inside there, you found the otherworldly sight of monstrously huge fungal creatures, as well as feminine-looking creatures with likewise fungal features. They kind of had this like network of fungus draping off of them, almost in a dress. Combat ensued, during which the creatures, the smaller ones, were able to move through the fungal masses that were the larger creatures here in the room, as the big ones began battering and beating at you guys. And as they were starting to die, as you were starting to break them down, they started feeding their fungal mass into a giant mound of fungus that was over top of a sarcophagus on the left side of the room. Before the last one was able to fully get itself covering that one, you guys were able to defeat it. That then sent a shockwave through the fungal network, opening up the sarcophagus, revealing a priestess of Zugat Moy. You guys were able to defeat the priestess, but she did leave you with a bit of an omen, claiming that the time of the Undying has come, and that I believe she said that's right, the Undying has risen, and the time of the Undying has come. It was at that point that you guys finished her off. At which point, the fungal network that was surrounding the room began to deteriorate and recede, just kind of, rotting away there. And it was about that time that you guys saw the chest in the corner of the room. You had already seen the statue as well as a door. With a little bit of cooperation, you are able to move the statue of Kelimvor, opening up the doorway off to the right, which I believe Rook took a look up in to see that it led up a giant flight of stairs. You then went into the chest, busting it open with Agrath's help, revealing inside a number of items, including 1,000 gold pieces, a +1 mace, gloves of swimming and climbing, a portable hole, a moon-touched longsword, 10 pieces of walloping ammunition, oil of slipperiness, a tankard of sobriety, and a rope of climbing. And it was at that point that Osprey was in the process of casting ceremony on the body of the priestess, imagining doing the funeral rites so that the creature cannot become undead for the next 7 days, short of a wish spell. And that is where we're going to pick up. You guys are still down here in the... you guys are still down in here. We will kind of, shift ahead the hour it takes for that spell to be cast, as Osprey has finished up casting that spell.
You said there was a scroll, and it reminded Rook of something to do with the Shadowfell.
Yes.
And then Tor about Lagru.
Yes, Tor explained to you guys a little bit more about the legend of Slagru the Undying, an old pirate's tale that was told of this legendary pirate who seemingly lived forever, although he like changed body, like he would be oftentimes in different faces. Almost seemingly as if jumping from body to body. And that the rumor has it that when he that he had made a bet with Kelemvor once before that Kelemvor bet him that he would never get his hands on Kelemvor's golden scales, and that, the legend tells that when the time comes that Slagru gets his hands on the scales, that the time of the Undying will come as Slagru will rise.
Did we decide on who's carrying the loot that we haven't divvied it all up? Well, not everything was wanted, I guess.
It's in a communal bag.
Yeah,
There.
it's in the portable hole.
Well, I mean, there were some things that like the ammo.
Yeah, the ammo was divided up
in the-
between Rook and Osprey, and Willow, you took the
I wouldn't.
oil of slipperiness and the gloves.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to hold on to the portable hole, but that doesn't matter too much. Anyhow. Oh, the 1,000 gold. Were we like equally divvying that up? Because I put it in my character sheet. The 250 it would be between 4 of us.
That's generally the way it's done. Yeah.
Because we're ignoring our friend Agrath, pretending he does not desire a pile of gold.
Well, there won't be any butthurt players if he doesn't get gold.
Yeah, if you
I mean,
want
according to his contract, he was only entitled to like 10% of the gold down here, split between his whole group.
I mean, like, when we were playing, he just said, "Oh, I guess that's you guys can have this stuff," because
Well, we did
whatever.
save his ass.
Yeah, he also did relegate himself to death.
He's just happy to be
Getting
alive.
out with his life
Anyhow.
is payment enough.
I was mostly just double checking that putting the 250 in my character's money, wherever the hell I put that.
Under your inventory,
I
yes.
thought
Which
currency was its own like little thing.
it is. It's up in the top right of your inventory.
No, but you have to click inventory first. I was thinking it was its own.
Well, the reason why it's in inventory is because if I turned on coin weight for all of you, carrying 100 coins carrying 1,000 coins would suddenly become a much bigger thing. It's more for like dungeon crawly stuff that coin weight actually matters, because it makes it so that you're not hauling out 50,000 gold pieces, along with like 20 weapons, suits of armors, and stuff like that. But yeah, you guys can load up that 250 gold each to your own inventories if you would like. Divvying that up. And then, yeah. So what are you guys doing at that point?
Leaving.
Yeah, I guess heading back to town. Everything's all wrapped up here.
All right.
Airgraph or whatever his name is, and be like, it seems like we're gonna be confronting the mayor. You still have that paper with you?
He nods. Yes.
Not that we need ton of evidence. We're all thoroughly convinced at this point.
So as you guys are making your way up the staircase, you're getting up to the top. Like I said last time, Rook can see that there is a little bit of light up there. But as you actually get up there, you can see that this hallway, this staircase, would have been filled in with vegetation. That this entire chamber would have been choked off up until this point. And as you're going up the stairs, you're kind of stepping on this this dead detritus that has fallen onto the stairs from the fungal network that is just deteriorating. But as you get to the top, you actually start to hear voices above you. They're muffled, they're low. You can't really make out what they're saying. But as you get up closer, you start to, or as you get up to the top of the stairs, you actually get a little bit of a clearer tone of what they're saying. And that is that you can hear somebody say, "I know the whole thing. Now it's opening up, and when we should be able to find the back entrance soon." You hear another voice said, "Okay, well, keep looking." What do you do?
Do we recognize them?
You do not.
Like, are they
voices that
people
you do
from
not
the village?
recognize.
Townsfolk were scared to come out this way.
Could be more contractors.
Could be.
Okay.
Well, no time like the present.
Oh wait. Our new dude, he's not local. I was gonna ask him
Nope.
if he noticed a local dialect to see if they're close people or not. But
The accent did kind of sound like some of the people from the farmhouse.
So, like I said, you guys see almost like a canopy of undergrowth and vegetation that is still covering the top of this. You would almost have to like cut through it with something to get like out into the open.
All right. So I do have a short sword in my inventory, so I guess I will go ahead and
do
start.
we know how this portable hole works?
The portable hole is I'll say you probably know how it works in general. Like it's a thing that stuff can be inside of. As you guys are standing there, Tor starting to bring out his. You said that you had a short sword?
Yeah.
Okay. As you're hearing that, you hear this grinding sound. It's very faint, very far off, and up above the vegetation. But you hear you hear some different voices say, "The main gate's allowing us to enter again. The vegetation has died back."
So I was asking about the portable hole. Does it like let light pass through once you've created your hole, or is it you have to like climb through to find the other side?
There is no climb through. That's not how a portable hole works.
I think you're fundamentally not understanding what a portable hole is. It does not create a hole in an object. It creates a hole in dimensions.
Right. No, it's kind of like a bag of holding.
No, it's not that thing from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Right. It's not a hole that you can put on a wall. It's specifically you create a hole in space that contains a 10-foot deep hole. So it like the cylindrical space within the hole exists on a different plane, so it can't be used to create open passages. Any creatures inside an open portable hole can exit the hole by climbing out of it. So it just creates a 10-foot deep hole with a 6-foot diameter.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said,
Somebody else can be in charge of the hole.
I'll say it's very much like a bag of holding or a handy haversack. It's just a different style and one that can be folded up into a handkerchief.
Okay.
So, hearing them say that, it's
Okay.
Hey, do we want to keep assholes from going back in here and
absolutely
undoing what I did?
I don't want anyone coming in here. So how about what's stopping us from going up there and confronting them and seeing what the hell their deal is?
Just this canopy of vines that I'm about to cut through.
Yep.
Sounds like they're coming in the front too.
I'll pull out my silver short sword and let's cut through it.
All right.
Well, they also seem a little, if they're saying, oh, it's finally, pulling away or whatever, it seems like do they sound like they were wary? I guess.
I mean,
like, oh, thank goodness, pulling away rather than we would have gone ahead anyhow.
A little bit of a little bit of relief, I guess.
I'm only carrying daggers, but you know what? I'll take that glowy longsword and chip in too.
Okay.
At least for the moment. I'll add it back to the portable hole stash afterwards.
All right. So those of you that are going about cutting away the vegetation, you do so. And as you are, oh, go ahead.
Do it.
As you are starting to cut through here. You're cutting into live vegetation, unlike all the fungus that has fallen to the ground, which is kind of withering away and just drying up into crackled bits at this point. The stuff that you're actually cutting into is live vegetation. It doesn't take you very long to cut through it, but as you do hear the voices above you say, Wait, I'm hearing something over here. There! I see a blade! As you cut through and as you breach through this vegetation, you can peek your head up and surrounding you, not like immediately surrounding you, but in the general vicinity, you actually see that there are 6 figures standing around. Each one of them is wearing heavier looking armor, and something very specific about all of them is that you see that they all have some emblem or some symbolism that would link them to the Church of Kelemvor. The one you can see is wielding a massive shield with a symbol of Kelemvor emblazoned onto the front of it. You see a woman standing there who has a almost like a not a drapery, but a like almost, I don't know what you would call that thing, a tabard on the front of it that has the symbol of Kelemvor. As well as, where is my other image? Here we go. One that is wearing a full set of armor with a similar looking shield as the other one, but just a little bit smaller. The other ones are wearing less ostentatious clothing, but as you breach through here, your blades cutting away at the vegetation, they look down at you, and you see the one that is the largest, broadest shouldered of them all. He looks down at all of you and says, what? Where did you come from?
The temple, clearly.
So this is the back entrance into the temple.
Yes.
Oh, thank the gods.
We have restored balance, as far as we're aware.
Well, you have definitely rid this region of the rot that was choking it. And as you look around, actually, when he says that, you can see that the forest around you has definitely a different feel to it. Whereas before the forest was very thick, very hazy, and heavy in the air, resembling more of this kind of imagery, just a little bit darker, something a little bit more akin to this. Now the forest is a lot brighter. It is not nearly as condensed. It's not nearly as overgrown. There is still a little bit of vegetation that is growing about, but nothing is choked off. The air is not as thick and dank. Also, you notice that the temperature has gone up. It's no longer a chilly, cold environment now. The air is warming up. The sun is beaming down through. No longer this dark, cut off world here in the forest. It is now back to what you would usually presume a place like this would be at this time of year. And you see that the worshipper of Kelenvor, he holds out his hand, offering you some assistance getting out of this staircase.
All right, I'll return my blade to its sheath and accept his hand.
Okay. He anyone else who accepts, he will help you up and out of this staircase. There's a bit of a sizable drop there into the actual staircase itself.
Yeah, Lil would extend her hand.
Okay.
It is definitely nice to be out of there.
You see, when Agrith gets out, he just like drops to his knees, takes a deep, hearty breath. He just, oh, it's been so long. Feels like forever since I breathed normal air. That feels good in my lungs.
Well, we have a meeting with a man about a quest that was not meant to be given.
And Agrith looks back at you and nods. He says, "Yeah, we do." And it's at that point the cleric looks down, sort of looks at all of you, and he says, "Well, before you go, might I ask what all occurred here? My group and I have been trying to reach this place for a few days. Fortunately, the vegetation on the north side of the forest was far thicker than we expected, and it impeded our travel by a quite sizable amount of time, as well as the creatures of the forest that had been taken over by the rot had seen our troubles and did not aid in us getting through."
Well, we can give you the quick and rough story beats of this. We came upon this town, of which it was besieged by zombies.
Down to the south?
Yes.
Crest or something like that.
It's pretty too good.
Then we put short order work to a bulk of those walking rot zombies. Then we stumbled upon. Then we found that the source of the corruption is stemming from the temple behind us. Went into its depths, found one of which the members of a exploration and pillaging group that was sent into the temple. One of the members of that group was actively defiling the temple as they were searching it for riches and untold treasures that they were promised by a member of the town.
Idiots.
And in doing so, let whatever was down there out, which was a rather unkind woman preaching the comings of a blasphemous god of undeath.
Yes,
Put
Named
a
herself I,
we
a
put it
Demon Queen.
yes, she is. This temple was built. This temple was built decades, centuries ago. It has been used over the time to be a final resting place for members of Kelemvor's forces, but it was also a place where some of Kelemvor's most hated adversaries were buried, using his power and his blessings to keep this protected. The one that was buried here was a fungal princess, a high priestess of the demon queen of fungus. Unfortunately, it would not have been just the seals that could have done that. Those
Flames were
seals.
extinguished.
Yes, well, the braziers are there for keeping things at bay and ridding the space of the undead should they rise. Those flames will self-extinguish within a few hours.
She claimed the time of the Undying has come.
When you say that, you see that the elven woman that is standing there, she looks over at the broader-shouldered cleric, and she says, I was afraid of that. If that is true, it is as the other reports have claimed. It might be the reason why. And he looks back at her, and he's like, nothing has been confirmed yet. For all we know, it could be any number of reasons. And they sort of like, shake themselves out of it for a moment. And he looks at the five of you. He says, well, I thank you for everything that you've done here. Putting an end to what had transpired here, fixing those seals. That has done an immense service to us. We are in your debt for saving our temple and this region. Who knows how far-reaching that filth would have gone to had you not intervened.
So Willow would look at, you said she was an elf,
Yeah.
and say, please, might you tell us what you're referring to? We've just been through this incredible ordeal,
She has
to put it
almost
lightly.
like a resigned sigh. She looks up at the larger guy, and he just sort of like shrugs his shoulders. And she says, well, the rumors that are spreading amongst other Kelemvorites and to those in our ranks as well, a lot of us have lost the ability to call upon the divine essence of Kelemvor himself. We do not know what is going on, but those of us that call to Kelemvor are not hearing him speak back. But...
Okay.
And she sort of pauses, and she looks down at the heraldry on her tabard. And the guy who's standing next to her, not the bigger, broader shouldered guy, but the one wearing the full face mask. Behind the mask, he says, "But nothing has been confirmed. I still feel the presence of Kelemvor to this day. Should the legends hold true, should the time come when he must walk the mortal coil, we will find him and walk with him and put an end to this." And you see that he walks away, heading over to the staircase as he steps down, as he like jumps down in and starts making his way down the staircase and into the temple.
There's a couple of yours in there. One near the entrance front and one in the biggest vault.
Actually, as you say that, you see not too far off, maybe a few hundred yards off to the side, is actually where the entrance leading into there is, and you can see that there's two clerics over there that have gathered the body of the one, the one that you had taken the striking rod from. And you can see that the entrance there is open, as there is just a pile of withering vegetation around it. But he looks back up at you and he nods graciously. "Thank you."
Who would have taken that scroll? The scroll that was Rook. No, Tor had. No, Rook recognized the symbol of and caused Tor to remember his pirate story. But
I don't know. I don't know who would have taken it.
I don't imagine we would have left it. So,
And it's probably in the bag of holding, because that knowing
I guess
what that
Willow
symbol
would
means is
like
about all I could get from it personally.
that Willow would look to who has the bag of holding and say the scroll,
I think you have the portable hole.
but regardless. And would say we found this and hand it to whoever seemed like they would.
We'll say that the broad-shouldered one, he grabs it, opens it up, and he looks at it and he says, "Yes, it's the burial. It is the burial procedures for the priestess. Apparently, she went by Silodrea in her time.
What?
But this is the ritual that was cast upon her when she was first buried. I appreciate you handing this to us. This is the ritual that we will have to rebury her with when we sanctify this place once again."
Oh. Well,
No problem.
hopefully you have at least a
We can make
week
no use of it.
before you need to adhere to those rules.
I assume, and he sort of takes a look at you and he says, "I assume you are a holy warrior as well?"
What gave it away?
Your sassy attitude.
He looks at
White
you and
sculpted.
he says, "The fact that you must be referring to one of the ceremony rituals."
Yes, I performed a funeral rite to make sure that she wouldn't rise again for the time being.
"Much appreciated. You saved us the time then. This will make it so that we don't have to go about that again. No, the ritual here is one that will cut her off from the essence of the Shadowfell, where her divine energy came from. Her body would have been, her body could have been taken over. This ritual in here will sever those ties. So, we do thank you for that.
Sure. I think so. Tor told us this pirate story,
Yep.
or he just remembered it.
No, he told you guys.
I think Willow would also say something about that, like, and look at Tor and be like, the undead pirate. What was what was his name? And
Um,
His name was Slagru. Slagru the Undying.
Even his name sounds offensive for some reason.
it does. I want to hang out with Slagru and ask if Slagru, I mean, is there any substance to this folklore? Ask
When
who's in
you
charge.
when you say that, you see the elven woman standing there. She looks at you and she says, "So you have heard the legends of Kelemvor's rival?"
Not personally. Points to Tor.
well, you personally heard them from me.
Oh my goodness. Like 5
Snap!
minutes ago.
Stories. She looks at you and she looks at Tor and she says, "You have heard the stories of Kelemvor and Slagru's bet?"
Yes, I have. I'm Tor, and I've spent plenty of time on the oceans, and everyone that makes their living on the seas is familiar with Slagru, a pirate,
Yes.
the Undying.
And she nods. She nods like knowingly, and she says, "Yes. Well, all those in the service of Kelemvor are also aware of him."
Well, if he were his rival, I assume he would be.
Yes. It was. The legends tell that when Kelemvor was a mortal, when he walked this world as a man, Slagru was his rival. And when Kelemvor arose to the stature of God, that Slagru grew jealous of him, that he hated him for his new immortality. So he devised a way to... Slagru devised a way to gain immortality himself. And he had made a bet with Kelemvor that should the time come that Slagru ever came into possession of Kelemvor's sacred scales, that he himself would rise to the same stature. And Kelemvor, in his... and she almost chokes this back, in his pride, he accepted the bet. And it was said that should the time come that Slagru had ever achieved such a goal, that Kelemvor would leave his post and hunt him down. And we fear that that time may have come. And if what you are saying is correct with what this priestess had claimed, then it may be more true than we thought. But we have a lot of work to do, I'm sorry. And she, like, she like almost like with a bit of terror in her voice, she like sheepishly steps aside, goes over and like very timidly jumps down into the hole leading into the temple.
Oh, um, where's Agrath? Is he still nearby?
He's just there.
Miller would step up to him and ask if he wants to share his story about, like, quietly ask about the woman who was not part of their crew, but joined them just
Yeah,
before they.
he'll tell the broader shouldered cleric, he'll be like, yeah, so down there you're gonna find the decomposing body of a woman. She was a she was a nasty one. She has the symbol of a god on her, and he sort of draws it out in the ground, and cleric cleric looks at it, and he nods. Shit, I can't even remember where I had that. There it is. And he says she did try to break all the seals. We could never get into the last room. But and he gestures to Osprey, as she said, she claims that she mended all of them. I even watched her do one of them in the room that they found me in. And he nods and he looks over at you, Osprey, and he says, well, thank you again for that. You have saved us even more time.
What can I say? If it gives the undead problems, I'm all about it.
He laughs and he says, well, then we have similar interests, you and I. But as she said, and he gestures to the woman that is timidly walking down the stairs into the temple, she said, we must be on our way. We must get this place cleared out, get things back into order around here. If you're heading down to the town to the south, I would like for you to have them build a gate, a fence, something on the outskirts of this forest, keeping folks out of here. Something, even just warning signs. We never wanted them to build that town in the first place when they did years ago. But property deeds and all. And he kind of spits at that. As long as they stay out and nobody tries to get in here, we won't have these kind of issues.
I reckon you've got about a generation or two before they dare come back here after the undead came crawling out.
Well, and I guess silver linings. All right. So with that, you guys head back to town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, you guys start making your way back to the town of Crest-Britoke. As you go through the forest, like I said, the environment there is no longer the dark, dank environment that you guys had when you first walked in. It is now a far clearer environment. You can see that animals have kind of returned back in mass. There are birds chirping through the trees, whereas before it was more of an eerier silence. It doesn't take you guys very long to reach the outskirts of the fields, where now you can see that the slime that was coating all of the wheat has begun to dry up, fall off, but also take some of the wheat with it. You can see that it has not just like slopped off, but it is still attached to it, still kind of bearing it. So you imagine that these crops would be wasted in this moment. And with that, you guys begin making your way back towards the village. A few hours go by as you traverse across the fields. And as you're getting closer to town, you can actually see that the sun has now gone down. It's more in the evening. And you can see that there is a mighty fire that has been built out in the fields, made up of dozens of bodies of the undead, as well as a lot of the crops that had that had that rot on it have been cut down and thrown into the pyre.
Yeah.
As you
Talking about.
Yeah. As you are making your way up there, you actually see Monty and Palurian Smith standing there, and they turn and see you guys as you're walking up through the fields. And
You see,
oh, good.
you said Monty and
Smith, Palurian
the
Smith.
he's like
He's the old
a
priest.
Yep,
the priest.
he's this dude.
Yeah, I just couldn't think the word.
And he
Um,
they look at you. Monty sees all of you walking up, and he gives a wave. He says, it's been a few hours. I'm glad to see you all have made it.
Yeah, we let's just say we went into the temple, found someone we had a major disagreement with, and killed them.
He chuckles.
yeah, easy.
He says,
We
well,
came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
But
I'm glad to hear that.
the Kellenvor clerics and
Yes.
so forth had arrived and are taking care of what they need to take care of.
And he nods. He says, well, good. I'm glad that they are going to right the wrongs that they have let slip through their fingers.
Yes, speaking of which, where's the mayor?
Um,
Yeah,
I'm-
what cheese?
I imagine he is in town. And he, you actually see him look around, and he goes, he looks over at the cleric, Palarian Smith, and he says, sir, that young man that you were talking to not too long ago. And the priest walks up and he says, yes, the young man, the one with the tie. Monty nods. He goes, yes, Matthias. I think he was still around here. Matthias! And he calls out to him. You see a young man walk up, wearing nicer clothing, and you guys actually recognize him. Those of you that had gone to the mayor's office when you first arrived, this was the mayor's assistant, who was in the office with him. And he looks at all of you standing there, and he says, welcome back.
I turned to our new rogue companions, like, you recognize this guy?
And Agrith looks at him, he says, I've never seen him before.
So he couldn't be a witness of what happened. Okay.
And
Monty.
Agrith even looks at you and he goes, I never met the mayor. I never met the mayor in person.
Oh. Alright, this will be a little more difficult, but we can work with that.
We'll just have to be a little bit more subtle with
It
our
has his
approach.
signature.
This is what Matthias looks like.
Matthias. Oh, such a nice lad. Probably
Matthias.
judging book by cover.
You wouldn't
Joey
happen to
probably
be
guy.
you're his the mayor's personal aide, right?
And he nods and he has a smile on his face. He goes, Yep. First, the assistant of the last mayor and of the current mayor.
So you would have like records of minutes of his meetings, correct?
Yeah, those would be. I mean, those would be kept in his office. I mean,
Assuming this is on the books.
we do keep records of meetings that have been sanctioned.
You're right. This might not have been sanctioned.
Is everything all right? I mean,
Willow wants to ask.
Kind of just an aside to Osprey. If he never met the mayor, it's we can assume that the mayor sanctioned this, but it could be even more under the table. Hold on a second. I have a little visitor. Yes, Gwendolyn.
while the group is standing here, you see you see one of the young girls that's standing around the fire. She goes up and she pulls on Tor's like cloth that he's wearing around, and she's like, you got a funny barrel on your backpack, old man.
You're supposed.
Willow would look to Airgraph and
Look down at the little kid. It's where I carry my crew.
Her eyes go wide, and she gives a little bit of a shriek. You see two people standing over the fire, and they're like, Gwendolyn, get back over here. Leave them alone.
So, yeah. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, to ask Mateus if she's heard of, or if he heard of, Calicia, whatever, and looks to Airgraph for
I'll be right
investigation.
back. I gotta put somebody back in bed. I'll be right back.
Yep. He shakes his head no, and he says, the name doesn't sound familiar. Sorry if that's not really a help to you.
It helps.
But
or doesn't hurt to ask.
But is everything all right? Do you need to speak with the mayor?
Yeah, we have a new proposal, something to stimulate the economy, as it were. We need a fence built.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
Yes.
that's no problem. I'm sure Mayor Devery would be more than glad to help. Yeah, here, he should be back at his office by now. He had some errands to run. He told me to come out here, make sure everything was going all right, because he wanted to do a ceremony this evening, in celebration of everything that had gone on. You guys showing up and helping out, the whole stopping of these creatures, and he sort of gestures over to the fire, and he says, "Yeah, here, follow me back. I'll take you to the office."
My eye narrow at the word ceremony.
Yeah. And you see Monty. He starts following up behind, as Matthias says, "Yeah, he's a really good guy. We were in the middle of an election year last year. He had shown up about a few months prior to that. He claims that he came out from the West. I guess there was a city out there that he was in charge of. Eventually wanted to kind of, downsize from what he explained. And he came out here. He really helped us out. He had a lot of money to his name, so he was really, helping us get along. And then, we were we were looking to hire a new mayor, and a lot of the townsfolk really liked him. And well, I mean, I guess he's a bit eccentric, but he had a lot of money. I hate to say it that way, but a lot of the townsfolk they really liked the fact that he could throw around some money. We had hopes that he claimed that he was going to be able to get us new farming equipment and everything. That's our main industry. The previous mayor, he was very big into helping the farmers. He built the farmhouse. He built the farmhouses out in the fields so that the farm hands could actually sleep out there. This way they weren't getting exhausted, just walking to and from the fields every day. Unfortunately, a lot of the equipment that Mayor Devry purchased when he first took over as mayor, it only lasted a few weeks before there were some issues with it. I guess the people that he bought it off of, they had made it out of some cheaper materials. He said that he's been trying to save up some of the town's resources to get together some new stuff. He's, like I said, he is a good guy.
Yeah. What's the like tax rate going on in town right now?
Well, so with the last mayor, Mayor Fording, we had what was it? We had a 5% tax on all goods and services minus essentials. So obviously, like, clothing and basic bread and water and milk, that stuff was all non-taxable, because that's Mayor Fording was very about making sure that the townsfolk had their essentials covered. The 5% was used. Anything beyond that, so trading of goods and services had a bit of a tax. He was able to get a lot done with that, surprisingly. He never took a salary. Mayor Fording was very against taking his own salary. It was something that he was very noted for. I believe that's why a lot of people actually really loved him, and were really upset whenever they found out that he didn't want to carry on being mayor. But he's a wonderful man. He's actually the one who hired me in as the assistant. I used to work for him as a wood carving apprentice.
What is it? What is it now?
Well, so the thing is that once Mayor Devry took office, he actually signed a contract with the local capital to get us more resources. And because of that, we had to pay the capital tax on top of our tithings, because we obviously have our tithings, that is food rations sent up there, and the new tax rate is 20%, I believe, because it was 10%. It was a 10% to the capital, and then 5%. It was a 5% increase because the mayor was trying to do more for the town. Unfortunately, there wasn't really much done with that. He just sort of looks at the ground as he says that. He's continuing to walk, but he kind of trails off at that comment.
I kind of turn around to the group. It's like, does anyone else know a word that starts with an E and ends with embezzlement?
Do you know the name of the big city he came from?
Oh, well, I don't, unfortunately, not off the top of my head. I'm sure he can tell us. I mean, he knows he knows a lot of really well off people.
I'm going to be telling us a
course.
whole lot of
Of
stuff
course.
right
Yeah,
now.
I mean, the stories that he told us whenever he first arrived. When he first arrived, he was buying a lot of drinks for people. Buying people's foods. He was helping pay for a lot of the houses that needed some upkeep. There was a lot. There was a lot that he was able to help us with.
So before he became mayor, he was helping everybody around,
Mm-hmm.
throwing money around, as it were.
Yeah.
And now that he is mayor, is he still throwing that money around for everybody?
Well, like I said, not nearly as much. Unfortunately, he said that the coffers um weren't really as he said that unfortunately the coffers weren't really as good as the previous mayor had claimed. Um so we really didn't get there really wasn't a lot that he could do with it.
Oh, but
Hmm.
the higher tax rate that had to supplement
Right. Right.
something, right?
Well, yeah, so what he did is because we really didn't have because we didn't have nearly as much money that he thought that we should have had. He made a deal with the capital to provide us with that extra money. Oh yeah, by the way, the town that he claims, he says that he said that it was somewhere. He goes, oh yeah, I think the town that he said it was in the next kingdom over, in Nemeralis. Sorry, it took me a minute to remember that.
I have no idea where that
That's
is.
it's just far. It's far to the east.
Okay, do any of our characters have any history knowledge of this?
I mean, there's it being that it's just essentially the kingdom. It's like the country to the west. That's really about it. Here I'll show you guys a picture. Jump back to the present. There we go. Yeah, you guys are in the Sea of Cleanland.
I was just asking if we heard of the place and if they went into financial ruin previous. If we heard any stupid rumors, but it's unimportant.
I have no idea. I'm following this kid along because it sounds like he very much believes everything he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
So
For sure.
Here we go.
There's whatever the lie is he's been told, and he's just sort of going along with it because he just doesn't know any better.
Of course.
So
hopefully the mayor can help answer some of these questions.
Well, I came
We'll
in
be
about
glad to speak with him.
you were already telling that tale, so I was just sitting back listening. But I can roll an insight check to see if this kid is just trying to like distract us, or if he is just really into all the mayor's bullshit. Like,
yeah.
if he buys in whole hog.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll insight.
Because
Anybody?
there's an old saying that goes, if you can't dazzle him with brilliance, you baffle him with bullshit.
Yeah.
That's a terrible roll, though.
I mean, I can roll insight, but I straight up don't believe a word this kid. I just think this kid believes what he is saying.
Yeah.
My
Like
passive insight's actually higher than that.
Like,
Here we go. So just to give you guys reference, I'll delete that second. I'm gonna delete those 2 pictures there. But basically, the town you guys are in is the red circle, that's on the left side, or that's on the left there. The capital is the red circle on the right, on the far right of the map. That's actually Cleony. But that red line, that's like the country that he's referring to. So I mean, it's like another, it'd be like almost like a different state, or like, French in Spain.
Oh, so he's a carpetbagger. Okay.
I guess that's one way to look at it.
What? No one understands that reference?
The only
No, I
carpet.
understand the reference. I was just laughing at Lucas's reaction.
I don't.
Don't tell me you don't know what a carpetbagger is.
I know what a carpetbagger is.
All right.
Google
Yeah, I saw that,
carpetbagger.
I saw that. I saw that Saturday
Mary
Night Live
Poppins.
skit where
Yeah.
All I could think
Christopher
of was
Walken was
Mary
Colonel
Poppins
Angus.
and her bag, and all the shit that came out of it.
Colonel Angus, you old carpetbagger.
Yeah. So the insight checks there. I mean, yeah. Even with the even with like the not truly phenomenal rolls, you guys are getting a sense that this kid is not telling you anything untrue. Like the fact that he is telling you like the goods and the bads is really kind of selling it to you. He really thinks that the mayor, Mayor Allard Devry is not a bad guy. It's just he's kind of selling to you guys probably what the mayor sold to him as this, I want to do this stuff, but I can't. Because that's the sense that you guys are getting, is that from what Matthias is telling you guys, it sounds as if Mayor Allard Devry has been saying like, oh, we can do these things, we just need the extra money, but until we get that money, we really can't do much. I forgot to turn on encounter log.
Forward to talking to him about this fence and securing this town now that our after all the work we did.
And Matthias looks at you and he nods. He goes, yeah, I mean, a fence wouldn't be too bad, especially if it's just on the outskirts of the forest. Yeah, I think that's something that he could manage. And so, we'll put you guys ahead a little bit further. The sun at this point is down. A lot of the townsfolk are out in the field, around the fire. As you're making your way into town, there's just a few people around here. Most of them, if not, have already made their way out to the fields, but some of them are still going out there. And you go up to the mayor's office, a place that, some of you had already been. And, Matthias, he has this hopefully optimistic step about him, as he's walking up, and he's like, yeah, I'm sure he's back from the stables already, as he's going up and opening the door. Because you actually see that the lights are on inside, and he goes, oh yeah, the lights are on. He must be already back from the stables. I'm sure he's just getting ready to join everyone out in the fields. And as he opens up the door, you guys look inside as you step in. Matthias actually opens the door, steps in, and then freezes. And as the rest of you look into the room, it is pretty much barren. Compared to the last time that you were in here, there was art on the walls, knickknacks of varying value laying about, different things on shelves and in the cupboards and whatnot. The the desk that you saw the mayor sitting at last time, that's still there. The chair that was behind it is still there, and the two chairs that are in front. There's as well as a bookcase and a cabinet behind them. But most of the knickknacks, the art that was on the walls, the different things that weren't essentially bolted down or too big to get through the door are gone. Most of the papers that are on the back wall that were in the cabinet and the bookcase are all gone as well. And you see Matthias is just standing there. His eyes are wide, his mouth agape as he's just staring at all this. What is going on?
Your town's been had.
Yeah.
And you're going to need to call a special election.
Go find Paylor Smith and Monty.
When's the last time, Matthias, the last time you saw the mayor, physically saw him?
It was, earlier this morning. It was just after you guys got back. Yeah. You guys had gotten back with the farmers. And then everybody started going out into the field, and he told me to head out to the field. Yeah, because we were told by Paylor and Smith that that you guys were going out to deal with the stuff in the temple, and then he told me to go out into the field and join the people out there, and that he had some business to attend to here and over at the stables.
Well, I can guess what business he had at the stables.
And
Probably horse short now.
Matthias.
It might be more than a horse if he packed up all this shit and took it with him.
Matthias, like, stammeringly, he runs over to the one cabinet that's in the back right corner, and you see he pulls out a key from around his neck. He has a necklace on that has a key on it, and he uses that to open up this drawer, and he pulls it out, and it's on this like sliding rail system, and you can see that there's a platform where a sizable chest might sit. There's nothing on there as he like puts effort into pulling this thing out, and just like it weighing nothing, almost like falls back on himself. And his eyes start tearing up, and he goes, the town's chest is gone.
There it is.
And he looks over at all of you, tears running down his face. His face is red. His eyes are watering. They're bloodshot. He's like, he took all the town's money.
Yep, that's what
Matthias.
So you're
In this town.
Whole
your
day's
beloved
head
mayor
start
here.
or half of one.
Well, how
Who
long
in
have
this
we been
town
back in
was this-
town?
Last he was seen was morning when we got back with the farmers, so
Right, which was about 12
Evening
hours
now.
ago.
yeah.
Oh, that.
Got the whole daylight.
He's got half a day on us if he left once we got back.
More than enough that any tracks the carriage or whatever left are gonna disappear into the main traffic on the road.
But what about the time to pack this all up? Matthias, who may have helped him? Who would he trust?
I mean,
I
I thought he trusted me. I don't know. There really wasn't anyone that
shut
he
up around the time he did.
not that I can remember. Like I said he had some business to take care of over at the stables, and then that was going to be, once he was done, he was going to join the townsfolk out on the fields.
Let's go to the stable, see if there's anybody there.
to the stables. Matthias, find Paylor Smith.
All right. He nods. And Monty, Monty and Matthias will go and retrieve Paylor and Smith. Yeah, you guys make your way over to the western side of the town where the stables are. This was where some of you had entered into the town when you first arrived. As you get there, you can see that it has comfortable lodging there for 6 horses. You see that there's only 2 there at the moment. And you see that there is a light on inside of the of like the lodging that is connected to it.
Go to the lodging. Somebody's in there.
Yeah. Like, who
Yeah.
runs the
You guys head in, and you see sitting at a table is a man that has a hat pulled over his eyes. He just kind of has his arms crossed, his feet are up on the table, and he is snoring a bit.
I'm gonna
Go
mage
wake him up.
hand him awake.
Okay.
In case he has a weird spell on him making him sleep.
I think
What
he's asleep.
what are you doing to wake him up, Osprey?
Oh,
I'm gonna shake him. I'm gonna pick him up and shake him.
And he just what's going on? And he moves the hat up, and he sees all of you standing. Sorry. Did you guys need to check in a horse?
We were checking. We came to see if anyone had checked out a bunch of horses.
What today?
Yes, today.
Yesterday, what?
Yeah. It was a few hours ago. Yeah, there's this guy. He came by. Wanted to rent out a couple horses. Yeah. Was looking for 4 of them, as well as a carriage. He said he was going to be escorting someone somewhere. It's kind of rare, not gonna lie. We normally don't get people looking to do that kind of an order.
How long ago was this?
Oh, this morning? Well, it was shortly after sunup, close to noon.
Great. So they got a carriage, 4 horses, and have gone in any direction.
It sounds like he's hired a crew for it too.
You wouldn't happen to have overheard where they're heading, or saw which way of town they left.
Oh, I didn't get a good look at them. Well, I did. The one that I spoke to was a halfling. He was shorter than even most. It's kind of strange. But yeah, there was him. I heard another voice. It was a female voice. I know that. Very effeminate voice. Yeah, I didn't get a good look at them. Sounded kind of gruff though. That's the most I can say.
How many do you think there were?
Oh, gotta tell you. Came in, the little halfling came in, asked to rent out the 4 horses. So said he was gonna have them for about a week. So he rented them. He wanted a carriage. They gave him one we had, which I'll tell you what, it was his lucky day. The mayor had just bought that one. Maybe we had just gotten it in a few days ago. So he was in He was in good order.
That's quite a coincidence. Do they have to sign something? I mean,
Yeah, he had to sign a contract saying that if he doesn't get the horses and carriage back within the time frame paid for, we can send a bounty after him.
well, can we see the name?
Yeah. And he says, he sort of looks up and he goes, "Well, I mean, I guess I could show you, but what is this about?"
Do we want to
The
stir
town
up a
isn't as
panic
safe as
right
you
now,
thought.
or do we want to just keep the investigation close to the chest?
And,
Do you normally?
well, it sounds like if we wait a week, there's a bounty too.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's if they tell the truth about where they went.
Yeah.
So,
They're not
Well,
about
the
it.
uh,
whole point of the bounty is in case they didn't.
Who would go after the bounty?
Whoever takes it.
I asked.
And he
Or
just
do
shrugs
you
his shoulders. He's like,
request to take it?
he's like, oh, there's really no bounty hunters here in the town. It would probably get sent out to the next city over.
and of course, if the information they left you is totally fabricated, then what are your chances?
Well, if they do that, which I can't say that is the most uncommon thing, in this line of work. Well, at that point, we just send up a request up to the Capitol and try and get some tax write-offs on it. It's actually not that bad of a deal. We could always get another horse or two. And oftentimes, we end up finding them somewhere. They get, somebody gives us a fake name for whatever reason. They often just, leave the things wherever they fall.
So,
Is
just
it investigation to see if he's fabricating something? If he
That would be
wasn't paid off
insight.
or
That would be insight.
insight?
But he does produce the name from the book, which is listed next to the
Right.
purchase of or the rental of 4 draft horses and a carriage and cart, which is listed with the price of 315 gold. But the name of the name that is listed here is that of Thorpe Sunmeadow. And the insight that you rolled, I mean, you're like,
Yeah, just to see if he's not covering for somebody, if he wasn't
I mean,
paid off.
he does not. You do not
pretending.
get from him that he's covering anything up. I mean, he seems like a dude that you guys have just woken up, and he's trying to give you the information that you're asking for to the best of his ability right now.
Now, did he write the name down there, or
Oh no, it's you see that it's all in the same handwriting, so you would imagine that the man working here wrote that down.
It's unfortunate.
and does it say their destination?
It does in fact. It says that it is thieved. For what it is worth,
Where?
I will share you a map, because those of you that are from the area, which would be all of you, are familiar with with one of the bigger towns going down into the Grand Duchy of Favenony, just to the south. It's a good journeys down to the south.
Where?
It's the first town right there in the purple. also known as the V.
I can't. Whatever. Crap. Question. I had a question. Oh, do we have knowledge of draft horses and how fast they go pulling a wagon? I'm suspecting not that fast.
No, I mean, you know that they go quickly, but you also know that they're beasts that need rest. So
So is this a very like high traffic area? Would there be a lot of road traffic, or if a wagon recently left town, would there be trace of it?
if something recently left town, there may be traces of it. There is a good bit of traffic that goes through here. Mainly because, and something that you guys would know in world is that Crispy Toke was actually and this was this kind of like, you know, in its lore that really hadn't come up. It used to be a bigger town. It is like on one of the main roads that leads from the capital that goes to another major country. But the thing is, the town actually used to be located like further away from where it actually is now. The main road doesn't really travel through here. It's more of a detour to go through because the original Crespy Toke was attacked, burnt down, and destroyed. The new one was built further to the south. Sorry, not further to south, further to the west. So like there is still traffic through here, but nowhere near what it used to be back in the day when Crespy Toke was like, you know, like a few dozen miles to the east.
So we wouldn't be able to distinguish fresh wagon tracks with big draft horse
I mean,
prints
that would be
versus
something that you guys
smaller.
would have to go out and look for and roll to see if you notice it. I mean, that would be
Mhm.
investigation. So
I was gonna say
Well,
that.
that's kind of what I was getting
I
at.
would say I would give you
If
either investigation or maybe survival.
Rolls the same for me either way.
Yeah.
I'm guessing not good.
I mean, it's not
I'm
bad,
gonna go look for
but
some
that roll is.
tracks. That's not
That's
too
not much
bad.
better.
For a big wagon and big horses.
Well, I
Here we
mean,
go.
if they left from here, we should be able to pick up from, you know, their starting point here, and
Yeah.
then follow them out and see if they actually went southern towards the supposed destination, or if they went the other direction.
Did you roll Tor?
I have not. I
Okay.
was talking.
Oh, it's all good.
I'm rolling now.
Cool.
And maybe. I definitely clicked for it to roll.
It'll get here.
Oh, there it finally fucking went. It's gonna be shit.
Yeah, I will say that Willow, you are able to follow where the track marks were here in the stables for where the carriage was. You can see where it was pulled out, and then you're able to follow those tracks. As you're following them, you see that they lead up down the road to where the mayor's office would be.
I don't imagine too many in large carriages travel away from the mayor's office very often.
Hmm.
So I don't see any more tracks going. I mean, of course they went to the mayor's office. That almost seems obvious right now. So, do I need to roll again to look for further tracks leading
No,
away from the office?
I will say that from the information that you're able to see is that the track marks that are leading out of here that go away from the mayor's office, they head out the western road that leads out of the town.
Learn to type. At this point, generally speaking, there's a big fire and we can see it, and the townsfolk are gathered there. Or it's later than that and they're all in their houses.
No, it's
So
the
Western.
the people are out in the fields. They are just out there celebrating, having a good time with people, dancing and singing around the fire.
So Western would actually be in line with what they said their destination was. Because the Western Road leads towards Clifford.
Yes.
All right, that might be good news then. Possible that he just hired them to guard a carriage. Didn't want to cut them in.
I mean, he's not going to get far with all that stuff on his own.
If they weren't in on what he was doing, then the information they gave is probably reliable as far as they knew at the time.
Did this place actually have any horses left to rent?
There's 2 left.
I guess that's you two, and I guess I'm hoofing it.
So I guess that argues the question: Are you guys hauling out after him?
Are we assuming are we going to try and follow tracks slowly? Are we going to head
I
in
wouldn't
the
bet on being
direction
able
of
to
that
follow
town?
a carriage on the main road from tracks.
Well, I mean, based on the map, I would guess we just head for Clifford and gather information from there.
Yeah.
See if they actually headed to. Why is this? What the hell? Sorry, my Discord display is being weird. See if they actually headed out towards the or if they made southern for one of those other locations.
I feel like I'm missing a detail.
About what?
I don't know. Something I've skipped out on asking, or
Wouldn't surprise me if he didn't swing west a bit toward Namurlus.
okay. What do we know about these upcoming towns? I guess. So there's history.
So
where maybe we'd be able to hide easier, or if we're from the region, presumably.
So what you know about the next town along this main road,
named for a big red dog.
Yeah. No, so the road that connects them, you know that Clifford, for the most part, there's a lot of forest around there. They're actually a fairly prominent hunting town. Specifically, you don't know. I'm gonna say you don't know anything like too crazy about them. But you do know that it is a hunting based town where most of their economy is going to be garnered from the selling of meats and whatnot.
Okay. I want to go back to the mayor's house or whatever
Mm-hmm.
and look around for any notes or something to indicate that he was planning this. Considering he bought a wagon just a few days ago, coincidentally. If anything he left behind.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me an investigation as
Mhm.
you head back in there, taking a look at that. We're gonna say that at this point, that Matthias, Monty, and Palorian Smith have all arrived back at the mayor's house. You don't find anything, Willow.
Anyone else want to help me look? I don't know what I'm looking for. There has to be something.
All
I rolled
right.
too low.
My investigation's bad.
I mean, I can look, but I think we're just sort of grasping at straws.
Yeah.
Love straws.
I mean, mostly I think we should just get pursuing.
Anything with a 17?
Well, you rolled an insight.
Straws? Oh, fucking.
That's fine. It would have been a 15 otherwise. No big deal.
There you go. 18.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, I will say that you guys are going through. You guys are able to find in the bookcase. There is still some papers left, some books and whatnot. And in one of them, you're going through them trying to find anything, but you do find something. I'm going to say that I'm just going to roll because you guys all got very close. I'm just going to roll a d6 and okay. So that would have been Rook since he was 1 and 2. Rook, you find a note that has a very familiar name on it. You actually do see the name Thorpe Sunmeadow on there. And this is actually a receipt that, from what you can tell, of the hiring of service of movers.
All right, got someone here. Looks like that name at the stables was a real one, or at least the one they're working under. From the look
That's
of this, he
helpful.
really did hire them without letting them in on what was going on.
But as you're looking at the note and the thing that really stands out to you, you see that it in fact does not list the town of Thief as the final destination, but it actually lists a town that you are unfamiliar with. But it lists that the wagon is to be delivered to the town of Clifford, and then it will be picked up by someone else. But it does not list any other name.
This service is only going as far as Clifford.
Wait, was there 2 towns? Ow. Our final destination?
Well, the guy at the stables told you that the original request was to take the wagon as far as Thief. But this letter, this receipt for the hiring of these people is listing that it is going to the town of Clifford only.
So he's probably just
Okay.
going to keep moving people. They're going to go to Clifford. He's going to hire a new crew, move on. probably go to the next town and
Probably.
then keep changing the people he's moving with until he gets to whatever destination he wants to get to.
There's not a name of a company, just the name of that man.
It is. Well, you actually see two names listed there. One is Thorpe Sunmeadow. The other one is Kirsted Eversharp.
Any of either of these two names familiar to anybody here?
Not really.
Don't know
Roll
much.
me a hit.
He'll address the cleric as well.
Yeah, roll me a history check, all of you.
Should be good. I know all.
Osprey, while the name is not like that straight up, you do actually think back to a time when you're, some of the folk that you associate with had to hire a this group to move stuff, but the name Eversharp kind of stands out to you, that there is a company known as the Eversharp Moving Company, that they are contracted. I gotta pull this up. 1 second. Where did it go? Where did it go? Here it is. Bitch, where is it? Nope. Lost all my shit now. Oh, that it is a contracted company in the Perfectone Mercantile Group.
Okay.
Which is just a company that just its business is moving things, like, people and whatnot. Like they're a traveling.
All right. So we know he hired movers. We know where he's going. Partially. So I say we mount up and head out towards Clifford. Because if he's not there, we can probably
Agreed.
continue to follow a trail.
Do we
Uh,
trust
Mhm.
Paylor Smith with the details that we found?
Paylor Smith is there.
Oh, he is.
Yep,
Well, I guess
I said that he had come
he
back
is
with
he is a
Monty. And,
cleric of Paylor, so I mean,
hope
If he was complicit, he'd be gone by now. So,
hand him the letter. Say, long story short, your
I'm
mayor,
going here.
your mayor robbed the place. We're going after him.
and he sort of taken aback by this, and he goes, I never would have expected him to do such a thing.
Well, you're about to. Here's another bombshell for you. He hired a group of adventurers to go plunder the Temple of Kalimvor. So,
That was
No,
the
there's.
letter I handed him. So
Yeah,
just one.
and he looks at it, and
Probably just one.
because he was filled in about the stuff being taken, and he's just shaking his head, and he's like, I thought he was eccentric, and I thought he was a bit odd, but I never expected him for something like this. And as you guys are all at the mayor's office, he looks outside and looks up at the sky, and it's dark out. It's 8 o'clock at night, and he looks at all of you and he says, "So, you are mounting out tonight to go after him?"
Oh, at this point, he has nearly half a day lead on us.
Well, it took some time to pack that up.
I'll
yeah,
let you know. He hired
Just
some. He
two
hired some
movers.
decent movers, so they may have packed that
Oh,
up real quick.
anyhow,
Well then,
I think we're
Be
basically
it
being asked if we want a long
be it
rest.
12 hours or 4 hours, he still has a decent lead on us.
Yeah, if he keeps up the pattern of hiring legit movers, then he might have a hard time finding anyone willing to do the job after midnight in Clifford, though. So we make it there by dawn, we might catch him.
all right. So you guys are gonna head out
How
there
many
and
hours is it
to
to?
Clifford.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
do it. Do it.
I always forget what this is. It would be to get to Clifford. Would be potentially 5 days.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Oh, all right, so we have time to catch him if he's really heading that way. Wait, why did they rent the carriage out for a week to get to Theeth if Clifford is 5 days? It'd be like a month.
Maybe more. Yeah. Well, he's not planning on coming back, so I don't really think the amount of
I'm not
time he
asking
had
why
to think.
he did it. I'm asking why they would rent it out at the stables on the terms that he's heading to Thieves and will be back in a week.
You're not wrong. It would be about 2 10 days to get from Crespitoke to Thief.
Yeah, so more than a month to get back.
Yeah.
Mm, They they have a very bad business model at that stable.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was asleep and was barely awake when we were talking to him. I'm
And
sure
just
he
gave us
slept.
client information because we asked.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just gonna go take those horses. I'm sure he's still asleep.
Yeah. I'm sure Paylor Smith will allow this.
You see
Does anyone in
Matthias.
town have a third horse?
I mean,
Uh,
knowing that it's a 5-day to Clifford, we might as well rest for the night. Because I actually have exhaustion as a status,
Ooh,
and I'm down to like 13 hit
yeah.
points. So
Let me take
All
the
right.
fastest long rest ever.
All right. Yeah. So if you
I
guys want to give me
mean,
a few
they're
minutes,
gonna
I'm
have
gonna
to
go use the
stop
bathroom real
too.
fast. But yes, you guys can proc a long rest.
I'm
I'll
gonna go.
explain a little bit what happens during the long rest when I get back.
I'm gonna go grab something to drink.
Long rest.
Long rest taken. Yeah.
yeah, I'll be right back too. All right, I'm back.
I'm back.
Has he returned yet?
All right, I'm back.
There he is.
I have
so,
a free son.
So today, this is real quick. Today, Aaron says, "Hey, I'm in the mood for something spicy. You want to order Indian for lunch?" I say, "Sure. Get me the beef dish." She said she looked through the entire menu twice before I did to her.
You're the
Oh,
worst.
that's mean.
You're the worst. Oh my god.
Hilarious, but mean.
Yes.
Like it.
All right.
The best part is she was actually so impressed that I got her. She told me about it. I didn't ask. She information was the best part.
All right. So we will like I said, you guys can go ahead and proc for a long rest. You heading to bed?
Yep.
All right, good night. Me too. So you guys can go ahead and proc for a long rest. We're gonna say that evening, Matthias talks to Pelorian Smith. They discuss the details of everything that's going on, and Pelorian Smith looks at Matthias and he explains to him that Matthias is the only one that actually knows the books of Crespri Toke better than anyone. That until they find a new until they are able to explain to the townsfolk what has happened and run a new election to get someone in office, that Pelorian Smith is going to ask Matthias to play the role for the interim. Matthias is, obviously nervous, about the whole situation. They kind of want to keep a lot of it under wraps until, until you guys can get a handle on everything. The next day rolls around. You guys are able to get some sleep. You wake up the next morning, and we're going to say that Monty explains that he's obviously going to stay back, stay here in town until you guys are able to handle everything, and just keep an eye on stuff.
He might
So,
want to keep in contact with those guys at the temple
yeah, the Kelm of Rights.
until that place is secured. Needs to be kept an eye on for a while.
All right, so the next morning, you guys wake up. Do you head over to the stables to try and procure horses?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
And see if
they
we can find any others in town with the damage to the crops. They might not need as many taking in the harvest.
Okay,
I can summon a horse.
true.
That still leaves us a horse short unless Tor's running.
What's your movement speed as a monk?
40.
It's 40 feet walking.
So you could keep up at a canter.
I mean, I guess like making double moves the whole time.
I mean, if we're talking about a riding horse,
One,
riding horses have a 60-foot movement speed. Draft horses have 40-foot movement speed.
How about a
See,
war
Are
horse?
the ones here that are
Yeah.
in the stable riding horses?
hope so.
Hold on.
But they Capri Sun's taking another victim.
Sorry, I was drinking when I burped, and then I coughed.
And now you're dying.
The 2 that are left are actually riding horses. The other 4 that were bought, that were rented, were draft horses, specifically for their carrying capacity, which is far more than a riding horse. Oh. Man. So yeah, you guys would have to go and procure another riding horse. Actually, let me see something. Oh, actually, wait a second. Come to think of it, how much weight is everyone carrying?
That is a great question.
Because
Mine only.
I'm carrying 13
pounds.
pounds, not including the barrel.
well, I was gonna say, I don't know how hefty, hefty everyone else is, but a riding horse has a 450-pound weight capacity. So technically, if two of you could ride that,
Yeah, with a bag of holding, I'm not carrying too much extra weight at all.
right? Wait, actually, I think no, it would have to be a huge creature. That's right. So okay, yeah, we'll say that you guys are able to, because Rook brought it up. We'll say that you guys are able to procure a riding horse from one of the townsfolk. With the diminished crops, they're not nearly needing, the aid of the riding horse to get out to the outskirts of the fields right now. So yeah, you're able to procure one. The ones at the stables, you guys head in there. You see the same man. He's sitting there, still his feet up, his hat drawn over his eyes.
Hey,
I'm gonna wake him up.
Okay. You you knock him about a bit.
Mm-hmm.
He comes to. He says, "Oh, morning. Oh, hey, it's all of you. Hi.
yeah.
What you need?"
We need the horses.
Yeah. All right. All right. How many you need, and where are you heading? He grabs a cup of what looks to be ale. Takes a sip of it. Seems to relax a bit. So, what you need?
Do you have any carriages left?
Don't have carriages. Just the 2 horses out there. Man, you ever have one of those days where you just like sleep and then you wake up and you're still tired? Ugh.
Every day.
Yeah.
Cool. We need to rent out those 2 horses.
Yeah. All right. What's your name? Pulls out the ledger.
Osprey.
Our name is the people who saved the village.
He writes down Osprey, and then you see he puts in parentheses the people that saved the village. He says, "That's a interesting group name."
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, are you aware of anything that's happened over the past 3 days?
3 days. Can't say much. I've been sleeping a lot. Yeah. Okay.
You out on the zombie.
Let's say we walk around the block once, and then he'll probably be asleep.
You see, he takes another sip of his drink. He says, "What's that? Take a walk." I'm too tired for that. Yeah. Okay. So, where are you taking the horses? How far?
Are we going all the way to Thieves?
Sure, hope not, but
So we
that's
need
where it
to.
leads us.
We're going as far as it takes to free.
As far as we need to.
That's an
And that's all
interesting
Willow
town
said.
name. And
I
he
don't
writes down as far
I
as we
legit
need
don't-
to. And he
I
writes,
Okay,
but
hold on. You know what?
he writes it as
how
like
much does
one
writing
long string of
cost?
characters.
This is
How much does a riding horse cost?
And he points to the ledger that says 75 gold.
Is that to rent or buy?
That's to purchase. To rent, it's 50 gold per day.
Oh God,
I'm
just
just gonna buy the
buy
horse.
What the actual fuck?
No. Wait, what?
Like what
Like,
kind
there's
of
3
weird ass
horses at once.
economy is this? 50 gold to
Somebody
rent
should
it
be
for a
buying.
day, 75 to
That's
just
why the
buy
unit.
it?
He looks up as you say this, and he goes, "Look, don't yell at me. I didn't set these prices. I only got this job a week ago."
A week ago.
Yeah.
I
I was hired.
I
I was-
think you're
75
gonna
gold.
have
I
it
now
much
own a
longer.
horse to go with my whole
Wait.
aesthetic.
I was hired by the mayor.
Oh yeah, that adds up.
He
Yeah. Of course.
yeah.
Probably so. When he stole the 4 horses and the carriage, you wouldn't have noticed.
Hey, who stole horses?
Huh? What? Tor drinks his ale.
His ale? Tor, wait, are you drinking the guy's ale?
Yeah.
As you do, you get this. I need you to roll me a wisdom save.
Okay.
Oh no.
Actually, wait. Not. Not wisdom. Sorry. It's Constitution. We'll just change that.
Oh no, I should probably re-roll that since you gave me the wrong.
You know what? You might need to re-roll that.
This probably is going to be worse.
Say it'll be a 1.
I'm at 12.
Okay. You drink this. There's a very kind of like heavenly taste to this. It's actually pretty warm. It's got a floral taste to it, almost like lavender. You get like hints of chamomile, bits of honey. So it's very relaxing. You almost kind of feel like your eyes are getting a little droopy. But you are able to stave off the sleepiness.
No fucking wonder this guy. Do I recognize?
Go ahead and roll me a I would say go ahead and roll me.
Medicine?
Yeah, I would say medicine or nature.
We'll say medicine.
Okay. I was gonna go more with wisdom anyway, so
Wisdom, medicine, same thing.
yeah. While you don't know the specific concoction, what is in here, with the right amounts, especially what you can taste, this would knock most common people out. As somebody who has, binged, who has, drank their weight in ale over the time, your body's a little more constituted to,
Drank a
poisons.
barrel.
Yeah. So it's not affecting you, but you know that, like, a man of weaker constitution would be, in a very agreeable mood and, be very exhausted and tired most of the time drinking
Where
this.
did you get this?
And he points to a case on the ground. It's like a wooden case that it sits in. He has about 4 more left in there. And you can see right on the side of it is the symbol from the mayor's office. He goes, I got it from the mayor. Gave it to me whenever he gave me this job.
Okay. Willow's what's your name?
Craig.
Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We need those horses. Your town is relying on us. And you seem like you need another nap.
I
Can I roll
have an
for
idea.
persuasion?
I have an idea.
Okay. Go ahead and roll persuasion, and I want to hear
What?
Osprey's idea.
Wanna hear?
Okay.
Oh.
Here's my idea. We're gonna tell him. We're gonna give him. Gonna have him drink a nice big old swig of that mead, and we're just gonna take the horses.
That's what I meant. Why he needs another nap. Just give him his ale back.
And he's sitting there, and he goes, yeah. Like I said, it's if you need the 2, it'd be like 150 gold to buy them.
Yeah, 150. That sounds great. That sounds great. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Is he asleep yet?
Yeah, we'll say after a few minutes he takes another swill from his bottle, and he's like he slowly like sits back in a position, has the hat pulled down over his eyes again. You hear some soft snoring.
You just see Tor go back and grab all the booze.
Let's just go.
Yeah, we need this on the trail.
All right. So yeah, you guys are able to get the horses, and you start making your way out of Cresbritoke. I don't really have too crazy of an image here, but I should be able to put something together real quick. Rest to Cliff. So I am going to fast forward it just a hair, as you guys make your way out of Cresbritoke, and you start on the journey to Clifford. Now, most of you are familiar with these roads out here. There's not really anything that kind of surprises you. You have traveled, most of you have traveled these roads before, so it's not too, it's not too different than what you're used to. The one thing though that is nice about this is that you guys actually have horses, beyond Osprey, who Osprey has her own horse, of course.
Would I have actually come in through Cleone?
Yes, actually, that is the one thing that I was going to mention. There we go. So as for Tor, yes, you would have come in on the eastern side of Cresbritoke, coming from the capital of Cleone. So You have, you haven't really been this far out west before, so you're probably the only one that's a little bit more, that's a little bit more like out of their breath. In this region, you're far more more used to being in towns, but you have been to the town of Clifford once before, because as you can see on the map there is a river that does go up to the town of Clifford.
A little.
So you actually are aware of the town of Clifford because, in fact, it is one of the first locations coming out of the Cleany Bay that is a location where actually one of the Sailors Guild's offices are. And so I'm going to fast forward this by the 5 days that it takes for you guys to get there. So, no, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Go. So this is now going to be the 6th of Uktar, or the 6th of Rotting. As these 5 days go by, mostly uneventful, traffic and whatnot, but nothing of crazed import. And eventually you come to the town of Clifford. I did have the map. Go. I don't know why that's doing that. Here we go. Guess I should probably save this as a PNG. There we go. And put that in.
I thought there was a link to the calendar in the OneNote.
Not
There isn't.
there, but I could.
Yeah, I just thought it was there. I know there's one. Was it? It's pinned, I think.
I actually don't know if it's pinned.
Maybe.
I think I just added it one day. Like I know I linked to it the one day, but I think that was about it.
Just curious. I'm sure it's. Well, as far as I am aware, there's no significant dates for any of our characters. At least.
I mean, nothing that would have been coming up necessarily. Okay, there we go. So, you guys eventually make it to the town of Clifford. As I said, it's a more hunting-based economy out here, whereas Crespitoke was farmers. The town of Clifford is more reliant on the hunting, on the fishing economy that is out here. And when you guys get here, there's some general business going on. It's middle of the day. You guys are arriving in town. Where would you be heading to try and address this issue that you guys have come here about?
Well, we want to know if there's some kind of headquarters or something for that moving company. So Eversharp Moving, or
And wherever you would
Perfection
stable a
Mercantile.
carriage coming into town, it looks like
Yeah, I was
fairly
gonna
narrow
start with
streets.
stable.
True.
Okay. So you guys go about through the town. It's actually not too hard to find because it's just almost as soon as you head into town, you actually see that off to the side there is a Perfectone Mercantile Group carriage stable there. And
Well,
you
that
see,
would be the place to look then.
all right.
Wow, all in one.
So you guys head up there. This building is a lot nicer than the one that was in Crespri Toke. It actually has like a fully, furnished inside where people can sort of sit and rest and relax. They have a little bit of food out there on the outside as well. You guys head in. You actually see a dwarven woman standing there behind the counter as she sees the four of you walking in.
Hmm. We may need some fresh horses.
And she looks at you. She says, "Fresh horses. All right. What kind do you have? And what kind do you want?"
Well, we have 2 riding horses, so change them out.
She sort of looks at you and she like raises an eyebrow. Um, and she sort of, she goes, "I mean, specifics there. Do you want something that is going, do you want something of a certain color, a certain strength, a certain speed? Are you looking to get somewhere faster? I mean, just coming in and saying that you're looking for a riding horse, I mean, that's not really going to tell me anything. I kind of need to know the specifics. We are not just your run-of-the-mill stable where you just drop off a horse and you take the next one that's available. We have breeds, we have availabilities. If you need something that gets here within a day, we can always reach out to one of our sister companies, and we can always reach out to another one of the franchises. So I kind of need to know what specifically you're looking for there, darling."
Well, all right then. How about something that just came in from Crespitoke? About
Okay.
And she says, "You mean
No,
what, the one that's parked out back?"
Out back, you say?
"Yeah,
Up to a wagon?
he still is. Motherfucker hasn't paid me yet. He's still waiting for his chap
shotgun.
to show up."
Immediately cock the shotgun. Where is
Whoa,
he?
whoa, whoa, whoa. What the fuck is going on here? Put that shit away. Not in front of my customers.
I pull out my investigator badge. Like, we're on the hunt of a fugitive. Point us to him.
Are you telling me that I was harboring a fugitive?
Yes.
Son of a bitch, I knew this was too good to be true. Motherfucker told me he was going to pay me. Oh my god. And of course he's going to be, sitting here waiting for 3 days, God knows how long, motherfucking ass. All right, fine. He's right out back. Go through the shop. I mean, careful with the shit on the floor. I haven't gotten a chance to get it cleaned up. My kids haven't fucking cleaned this place since I've been gone. Sons of bitch has been out of here for almost a 10-day.
Middle of this conversation,
Okay.
just walking away. Like, you keep cursing up a storm. That's fine.
Tor stops and goes, "Wait, did you just call your kids sons of bitches?"
They are. Of course I am. Look at me. They haven't cleaned up this whole place. I tried raising them better. Apparently I didn't do too good of a job. I've been gone for near a 10-day. I come back and my place looks like a fucking shithole. How fucking pissed you think I am?
Christrid Eversharp?
pretty pissed.
You're looking at her in the flesh.
All right, so
Wait,
you
what?
took the job, moving the mayor with all the town's gold.
Well, I was helping a man move from Crespri Toke. He's meeting up with somebody who's going to be hauling out the wagon and the carriage, taking it down. Taking it down to Haldachamp. I told him we were only taking it as far as Clifford. I wasn't going to be going very much further than that because, I mean, honestly, the horse breeds that the ones that they got from Crespri Toke are kinds of pieces of shit. God knows that they probably aren't feeding them well up there.
Well, I mean, they did just get through an undead plague.
They had plague.
Well, this is lovely. Not even told that they might be carrying a fucking disease. Son of a bitch.
They're not. We cleared it out. What was the mayor's name?
The mayor's name?
Debris.
Yeah, I'm asking
Debris.
you. I can't remember the mayor's.
Debris.
Yeah, Mayor Allard Devry.
So is Alfred Devery, the one waiting out back?
Uh, what was that name again?
Devery.
That's not the name that I was given.
How about Thorpe Sunmeadow?
Thorpe.
No, Thorpe. That's one of the boys here. He was the one that was helping me move.
Then what name did he give
So-
you?
And she like pulls out the book that's on the counter there, and she says, Bertram Beckwith.
I'm gonna beat a name out of this
Um,
guy real quick.
Wait. Willow will describe what the mayor looked like and say, did he look something like mayor-ish? Well,
A big fat slob, lots of
you know,
jewelry.
what-
You mean
way
this?
ostentatious.
Yes.
She
Generic.
goes, yeah, that's the one. Those damn horses having to haul his ass.
We
How
were
many
told
exits
he
out
might have
back?
traveled with a halfling, and
Well, the halfling's her
we're
guy.
not sure that's your guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've got
Thorpe.
a round of this. I got a round of this walloping ammo ready to fucking go on this kid. So, could go lay. If he tries to run, I'm gonna go lay him out on his ass. So
She
where-
says, yeah, Thorpe's one of mine. He's a good kid, but he's he's a bit short, but he's got a lot of power in his forearms.
Well, he must be the same. Who
All right,
helped
let's
this mayor.
let's make our way out back.
All right. You guys head through the stables here. The smell's a bit, noxious, but you make your way beyond there, out to the back where you find that there is a holding. Excuse me. There is a holding area out here for wagons and carriages and whatnot. And you can see kind of like attached to one of the posts there is a carriage. And actually standing just outside of it, who is starting to undo some of the Mayor McCheese. That's amazing. You actually see that standing outside, standing next to this, you see Mayor Allard Devery, but he is actually standing. 1 second. I had to find a picture that I had. Good. Nope, not that one. Son of a bitch. That's why I always hate keeping pictures in multiple folders. Wait, no, that wasn't it. Oh, here we go. You actually see standing next to him is a black-skinned tiefling. And that tiefling is... he has a piece of paper in his hand. He is also pointing to like the riggings of where everything's tied up. You can see the two of them standing there discussing. The mayor has his back to all of you.
But the tiefling can
I'm
see
just
us?
gonna.
The tiefling
walk
could
up
see
to
you
the
guys.
mayor
He obviously has no need to or no reason to question you.
and
No.
slap my arm or my hand on his shoulder.
He jumps almost like a foot off the ground as soon as you do.
Oh, Mayor Devery, we missed you in Crespitoke.
He looks at you, and you see the tiefling standing there. The tiefling was kind of watching you guys as you were walking up, but not realizing what was going to go on. And he looks at you, and the mayor's eyes go wide. You see this tiefling standing there, and he says, "What What did you say his name was? And he's looking at you, Tor.
I just continue to speak to the mayor.
The mayor.
We finished the job for you, but you seem to have left before we got back.
Yeah. I had some business out of town. I had to handle it. So I was coming out here to meet up with my new business partner. Right? And he looks at the tiefling standing there. And the tiefling just raises this like really confused eyebrow.
With the shotgun drawn, it's like your answer to that question is going to be very important.
The answer, who are you pointing that to? The mayor or the tiefling?
The tiefling.
Do we notice the carriage has the stuff anything on it, or is it empty? Or
No, there is like there's a slew of items on there that you guys recognize from the short short visit that you had in there. And as soon as you pull the shotgun on the tiefling has this staff in his hand, and he just kind of like sets it on the gun, and he looks at you in the eyes and he says, "I am in no mood to fight you. I am simply trying to conduct business with this man, but if you have business with him first, then be my guest. I am not looking here to lose a head, and I would hate to see that happen to any one of you."
We have
Mayor,
no fight with you.
That is a veiled threat, sir. Ex-Mayor Devry, I'm placing you under arrest for embezzlement, among great other deeds we'll figure out on the way back.
You see that this man, he
a little hypocritical at this point.
the mayor the black tiefling looks at you and he says, "Did you say his name was Devry?"
Yes.
And he looks at
so he has at least masqueraded.
he looks down at a piece of paper and he says, he looks back up at the mayor and he says, "So I guess the honor of the name Vergermon means nothing in this moment."
How many names do you have, sir?
And you see like the mayor, he's just like standing there and he's like, just the, well, Allard Devry, that's my name, but I use that name anytime that I'm conducting business and want to make sure that the people I'm working with are on the top, on the up and up. You can't be too safe nowadays, right?
Like the
I'm gonna
people you
slap
sent into
my
the
mage
temple
hand
of Helen.
over his mouth to shut him up.
And when you say about sending people into the Temple of Kalimvor, as Willow, would you say you're putting Mage Hand over his mouth?
Yeah, he's talking too much.
He's like, "Oh, I didn't say to bring that, so I didn't think I was gonna do this. I didn't think they were gonna hurt him."
It's not going to hurt you.
You see the tiefling standing there, and he says, "So I am under the impression that this contract is null and void, and I will not be getting my 500 gold payment." And he's sort of like looking at the four of you.
For what service?
I was going to be a hired guard. He was looking for travel out to the west.
He won't be going.
Well, I'm afraid neither this carriage nor the ex-mayor here are heading out any further west, on account of most of what's in the carriage is looted from Crespitoke and the carriage itself. And the mayor's got to go back to face justice for that.
I understand. What a What an unfortunate situation we find ourselves in, is it not? Well, on behalf of the... sorry, I have to pull this up. He says, well, on behalf of the Ivory Raven Riders, Mayor Devry or Sir Virgo Mon, whatever it is your moniker is, when you are brought to justice, I will keep my eyes out for the ledgers of your name within the capital listings, and I will make sure I find out where you are being held and that you die a painful death. So, you have a wonderful day, sir. And he turns to the four of you. He says, I apologize for the issue that I may have been aiding in. I wish you all the best. And he kind of looks at Osprey, and he says, "I love your outfit, by the way."
I don't know what's happening here, but please go away.
Wow. Compliments you and you're still like,
That's right.
leave.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
I'm in the middle. Listen, I'm in the middle of work. I don't want to be hit on while I'm trying to arrest somebody.
Oh no, ma'am. Not trying to. I'm
God,
not.
Go.
See, I was assuming it had something to do with the holy symbols because the name of the
Yes.
group he was with.
Yeah, that's kind of it. But
I
He
don't
also
know
was a
who that
follower
is.
of the Raven Queen.
the Ivory Raven Riders are a mercenary group, in this world. So yeah, it would not have been something you would have immediately recognized.
Nope.
So yeah, you guys have Mayor Allard Devery as you know him by name.
Can we bind him?
Yeah.
I don't know if we have enough
With
rope to bind him.
I
Well,
don't think he's going anywhere.
You have the rope of climbing. You can literally tell him. You can
tell
tell
him
the
what
rope to
to
bind
do.
him.
I've got 50 feet of standard hempen rope from my
What's
adventuring kit.
that? Rope. Oh, I forgot what the rope does.
The
Because you
rope,
can tell it.
you can give it a command word, and it will do whatever.
It can carry 3,000 pounds,
Yep.
right? Yeah, it can like just tug him along.
Yeah. I will say that you guys, he does try to put up a fight, but I'm going to say that with your combined strength, you are able to keep him tied up together.
Oh, by all
Do we
means,
wanna
resist.
Yeah.
You
Do
want
we
to take
wanna
a
use
swing at
that?
me? If you connect, I can activate Hellish Rebuke.
Mm.
Let me just turn off this body cam.
Oh my god. Do we want to use that like is it sentient? It's not sentient, but it like
You can
listens.
no, it's animated. You can animate it. All right. So yeah, I will say that you guys are able to get him wrangled up. And where do you guys want to take him in this moment? Do you want to take him the whole way back to Crespri-Toke?
Well, that stuff needs to get back to Crespri-Toke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
the
we
carriage
might
has
as
to go
well.
back there, so
traveled-
we might as well take him back there. Plus, whether we're taking him to Crespri-Toke or to the capital, it's the same direction.
Of course, now Osprey's going to be strolling back into town
With what?
stolen horses.
Huh?
We brought him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're bringing them back.
And what's he even going to know?
Oh
that
yeah, don't
somebody's-
forget he's got late fee on the carriage rental.
Yeah, there's enough. You got enough on this guy for a hanging.
For
I
a
meant the
hanging.
horses you stole.
That I
They're not
stole. I
stolen.
summoned my
We
horse,
still
sir.
have them.
These are requisitioned unofficial town business, and we brought back the entire town's vault.
And whatever else he stole from there.
Yeah, we will just make our way.
All right. So with that, you guys make the journey back. Along the way, the mayor does try to get away a handful of times, but with him being tied up, you guys are able to quickly wrangle him back in. Is there anything that you guys want to do along this 5-day journey with him?
Willow's like, he's getting away. It's just
the
Bigfoot.
next time
I'm fast.
the next time he tries to run away, I'm gonna shoot him in the knee.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. You blast him in the kneecap.
I was just gonna let him run about 120 feet and then just catch up to him in a round. So.
He's just like running away. Just Horror comes running up next to him, just like, "What's up? Morning jog, Not that hard, actually."
But with the barrel and everything.
I'm actually running backwards as I go past him.
Yeah.
I was considering saying Willow asked Tor about his barrel since they have time. And oh God, I forgot. Yeah, it's a curious thing carrying a barrel.
So, let me
I would
go
just say
to
that
my...
dialogue where you had a child ask Tor about his barrel, was that in game or just?
Oh, that was totally in game, but that was just because of Gwen. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yes, I know, but Tor said his crew was in there, and I suppose that's where Willow's curiosity lies.
So Tor puts the barrel in front of him. He stares at it for a beat, and he says, "This barrel is my failure and my fate. We had drained our stores of ale one night. Against orders, I rode out to the nearest outpost and secured a barrel. At some point, a mist had arisen, but the beacon on the mast was still visible, so I was able to row back. When I boarded, I found the entire crew was gone. Only pools of blood and smears remained. I drank my way through the barrel, thinking I would not wake up again and join them. You see, a sailor who abandons his crew is cursed to be drowned in a barrel of seawater by his crew. I tried to avoid my fate by drowning myself in it, but my tolerance proved too much. Now I carry it as a reminder. I will avenge my crew. If I fail, I will accept my fate."
Well, that's a heavy story. But we each have our own stories, and she rubs her scarred eye. Actually, there should be a scar coming down the whole left side of her face. Maybe I'll share mine one day.
But I have a new crew now.
New crew.
Actually, that is something that I do want to say happened in Clifford. We'll say that you guys arrived there in Clifford. When you got there, you immediately went over and talked to those at the Percentile Mercantile, or the Perfecto and Mercantile group, were able to get the information and procure Mayor Allard Devry. We'll say you guys had a few hours there, at least while you were getting everything put together. You know, the draft horses attached to the carriage, getting everything kind of settled with those at the Perfectone group. I will say that while you were there, Tor, we'll say that you went over and you stopped at the Sailors Guild office. You know, just to sort of check in, see how things are going. And it was actually while you were there that you received a missive that had been sent out with your name on it, that came from one. Where is he? Where is it? Sorry. Of one Captain Dunburu. Which you immediately recognized, because the missive was actually labeled with blue wax, which you
done what?
Dunburu. So you actually know him as the leader of the Sailors Guild of Cleone. He was the one who actually went out and pulled you back in aboard your damaged ship that fateful day. And this missive said, and you kind of like heard it in his voice as you read it. There was, "Tor, me boy, it's been a while since I've seen you. I have good news and bad news about the situation with your ship and the things that have occurred with it. The good news is I have learned of the thing that has done your crew in. The bad part is that it's not as straightforward as we had hoped. I hope that your search for a crew is finding you well, but return to Cleone as soon as you can to discuss these details. There is work to be done." So we will say that you got that missive while you were there in Clifford at the Sailors Guild office.
Okay.
Can I, since you're saying we stayed in Clifford for a short while,
Yeah, a few hours.
do we need like health potions or anything as a collective?
I will say for
Okay.
right now, if you're aiming to continue playing Willow moving forward, that can be determined at the end of the session.
Okay.
So
Then things we may have bought. Because I wasn't I mean, it seemed like we shot out of there. Like,
yeah.
our Osprey's like, let's get going.
Yeah, I mean, Osprey, I
Um,
imagine Osprey was like, let's get the fuck going, and then just like, we gotta load up these horses.
we gotta get some things and stuff. Shit. I'm so torn about changing characters or not. I really like Willow, and I wasn't expecting to. Anyhow, what are we doing?
So yeah,
Tor's sad
it's been
story.
yeah, Tor's very sad backstory.
Is he suggesting he's got water in there to seal his fate, or just parts of his crew? Willow didn't
You've seen in the
ask.
barrel. The barrel's empty as far
Yep.
as you've seen.
That's fair enough.
All right.
I had a question and I can't remember if I would have asked or who I was gonna ask. It's unimportant.
Well, we will say that the next few days go by and you eventually arrive back in Cresbritoke. We'll say that you guys arrived there on the morning of the 12th. when you arrive, where do you guys head first?
So we arrive on the morning of the 12th.
Yeah.
Since we're trying to keep things on a wrap, should we maybe go into town at night instead, or do we just wheel everything up to the mayor's office?
Now that we've got everything back here, but there's not too much worry of causing a panic.
I guess we'll just wheel right up to the mayor's house then.
Okay.
Yeah, wherever we think like Paylor Smith or whoever's
Well,
in charge.
Paylor and Smith would be
Mateus.
over at the Temple of Paylor.
Well, I guess
I'm sure they'd know real fast if we got there, though.
All right.
yeah.
So yeah, you guys will say, so if you guys are heading over to the mayor's office, you have all this stuff strapped up to the wagon. You have the mayor on there. His kneecap is bandaged up from when Osprey blasted it with a shotgun.
Mage hand over his mouth so he doesn't shout stupid shit at his villagers.
Okay.
And make it look.
When you guys arrive at the mayor's office, I mean there's a fair crowd that is forming around the situation that you guys are bringing into town. Even with the mayor, mage hand, there is still a bit of a spectacle as people are coming up. And when you guys get up to the mayor's office, you see Matthias step out, sees the four of you coming up, and says, "Oh man, you guys were able to get him back."
Yeah, we couldn't find the town's gold though. Oh no! No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no!
Where that whole giant chest went.
You forgot I'm a pirate.
Yeah.
I don't know why this barrel's so heavy now.
But he looks into the carriage and sees the mayor sitting there, kind of disheveled. It's been 5 days. He's definitely tried to break free a few times. And he's just sitting there. He has his head slumped down, almost in defeat. Matthias looks at him and he says, "Mayor Devery, why did you do it? Like, it doesn't make any sense."
Well, it's because he's a scumbag.
Yeah. They don't greed is one hell of a motivation. They get the money, they get treasure, and it just blinds them to everything else.
Well, that's upsetting. I mean, I guess for what it's worth, I don't know if you guys ever, you guys probably haven't read them, but Mayor Fording said that he would, take his position back, at least in the meantime, until we got someone. So Mayor Fording's back. Yay. Town's not doing too well. Most people found out what happened pretty much within a few days of wondering why the ceremony had not been a thing that night, and unfortunately I wasn't do too well to keep it under wraps.
Well, it matters not. Everything's back in.
Yeah. And the good news is, if he's been embezzling as much of the funds as we think he is, there might be enough in that safe to make up for some of the lost crop.
Yeah.
Which we will say that you see Paylorian Smith and Monty come out, and they're standing there and they're like, "Well," Monty looks at all of you and he says, "I spoke with the Kellamverites. We made a deal with them that the farming is going to have to be receded in. Yeah, we're going to put up a more substantial barrier between here and the forest. They want to keep the forest off limits at this point with everything that happened. Put a bit of a barricade around that area. They would prefer if we actually move the town, but right now that's kind of out of the question.
That's a lot of effort right now,
Yes.
especially all the upheaval you've had.
But
I did think of something I could have asked while we were traveling. If the mayor would confirm that he hired that woman who broke all the seals.
he just kind of shrugs his
Like,
shoulders
no,
when you ask him that. He just kind of shrugs his shoulders, and he's just like, I hired whoever was gonna help.
yeah, pretty sure. Just shake her head at that. For what gain? And just walks away.
He sort of
Just
mutters
walks
under
away
his
while we're riding on the wagon.
he sort of mutters under his breath. He says, I mean, what did you find down there? I mean, that was kind of my question. What did you guys even find in there? Treasures beyond wealth?
Yeah,
I mean,
say death.
Death. And more death.
well, the papers that I found in the office said that there was that the temple held treasures beyond comprehension. It was, and I figured, you know what, the old mayor had this information, didn't do anything with it. I figured I might be able to use it to sell to help the town.
Yeah, sure.
What?
That's why
No
you
one
took the money
believes
and
that.
ran.
He, this resigned sigh, and he's like, well, obviously the whole thing looked bad once, everything started happening. And he's
It's
like,
worse when you run.
yeah, well, everything was going to come back on me. I thought I could get out of there with, the money that was owed to me. All the money that I spent on this town up until now.
So
Money
that's the
that was-
problem with public servants. Money's not owed to you.
You work for them. I don't even know why we're talking to this guy. Why isn't he not? I thought we had
No.
him bound and gagged. God damn,
Well,
I fucking hate.
Yeah,
that.
this was a conversation that happened on the
my
way up
idea was
here.
like a conversation,
Yeah.
like something I wanted to ask while we were traveling.
It was when you guys crossed over from the West Chap Parish over into the Cleany Parish.
You know what we found down there? We found the demon goddess of fungus. And you helped let her out.
He just shakes his head. So yeah, how do you guys want to handle this situation?
I mean, turn everything over to the rightful people.
Okay.
Huh.
Yep, putting everything back into the mayor's office. You do find the coffers. There is roughly 10,000 gold in them.
Good God.
Yeah, that'll definitely make up for some lost crops.
Yep.
I could, look at the mayor like, you son of a bitch. You've
There was
been
never anything
taxing
getting
these
kicked up
people.
to the capital either, was there?
Sorry, what'd you say?
There was never anything getting kicked up to the capital either, was there?
You know what? It was the problem was I was trying to get as much up there as I could in one trip. I mean, do you understand how much moving costs are? How dangerous it is. Just send shipments of gold up the road.
Well, we know you know how much paid movers to.
Yeah. I was just gonna save it up until I had a substantial amount, hire off some folks that would be able to help me move it, hire some guards. This way it could get to the capital in time.
We've got a new thing to add to the list. Tax evasion. Oh, the courts are going to have so much fun with you.
But people died.
Maybe we should deliver him.
No, listen. I've been
You can't
with
get
the
him on.
investigations
People
long
die.
enough. Murder, they don't really care. Tax evasion, that gets the town guard riled up.
That's how they got Capone. Tor says, and no one knows what he's talking about.
See, Capone was actually an infamous sailor who was like on the up and up. Like he didn't do any pillaging or pirating, but he was like a notable tax evader. So he like the admirals of Cleany would just like sail on past active pirates to go and hunt him down.
It's like even the
Part of
pirates
me, Steve.
know. They understand.
You got to report
kickback.
the pillage,
You
pay your tax on it, and then they don't care.
So here is
Well,
how.
it's not his fault. The syphilis rotted his brain.
So here's how we will resolve this situation. So word is sent up to Cleany about the situation that has gone on here. After but a few days, actually, let me see how long it would take, because actually they could, if they went by road, what are we looking at? Yeah, it'd be about 6 or 7 days. So in about 6 days, you guys are the town of Crespitoke is graced with the presence of
Maybe if their dumbass road didn't loop around like it does, it would take us.
go up and around. I was trying to figure out why it did that, and like I can't even like figure that out, because they're like there's rivers and stuff, but oh wait, no, that's why. It's because there's a giant ass river that crosses over there. Yeah. So
Yeah, but it goes very far up before it.
it does. Actually, you know what? No, that's a good call. Actually, let me look at something real fast. There you go. Oh yeah, no, they can go up the river and then down the road. So yeah,
Hire some surveyors to like remap,
yeah, really.
some redistricting and whatnot.
So yeah,
It's way up there. Like
Yeah.
if Clifford was 5 days, that's probably a day. Just
well, actually, here, let me. This is what I have over on my side, because I actually have this little thing that can move. So yeah, to go up the river to there would be 158. So, because yeah, if you actually wanted to go up the road, be like 225 miles. So cutting out a sizable chunk there. But yeah, the town of Crespitoke, after just a few days, maybe after about 5 days, you guys are visited by some of the officers from the naval offices of Cleany. These are people that you are pretty much all kind of aware of, but I'm going to say Tor is definitely more familiar with them as somebody who has spent a lot of time in Cleany. And
avoiding them on the sea.
Yeah. But you have your moments where you are in town. Yeah, these guys are the ones that you generally don't want to run into. These are actually the ones that did hunt down Capone. And as they arrive in town, there's this whole spectacle. You had the mayor locked up in one of the keeps there in the local holding cells, and he's taken away. People are throwing eggs at him and cabbages and all kinds of stuff. People spitting at him. You guys learn during this time between the back and forth with the admirals of Cleany, and it was pretty much until you guys said like tax evasion, like he's socked away all this money. You actually find out that Cleany had begun sending correspondence down to the mayor's office in Crespitoke, after not receiving the full wealth of their tithings to the capital, nor all of their taxes. And once they get down there, you actually find out from an interaction when these guys get there, that one of them goes up as they are beginning to transport Mayor Devry, and the one who goes in, he looks at him and he says, Vittorio Tridentu. Is that you, you fat son of a bitch? And you see Mayor Devry's like, no, not him. He goes,
Another. How many names does this fat bastard have?
and he looks at you,
You're an
Osprey.
investigator. They're called aliases.
He looks at you, Osprey, and he goes, no, that's his real name. I've known this son of a bitch since he started his little adventure. He probably has a good dozen names he goes by. Allard Devry, though, that's a new one. And he sort of looks at him, kind of, you know, like unsurprised that he would be pulling this kind of stunt. He goes, yeah, no, we've actually had our run-in with him before, down in the Grand Duchy, down in Aziondo. He and I've had a bit of a run-in already once before when he assumed power down in a small town just outside of Aziondo. And I was actually called in to investigate the whole thing. Same kind of style. Shows up in town, throws some money around, gets elected. You know, after some time, he steals their coffers, makes away. No, you know, in the middle of the night. I'm actually surprised that we caught him. Well, you caught him.
It's like the royal we.
Yeah. And he kind of looks at you all and he says, I give you credit. He's a slippery bastard, like a greased pig.
Yeah, he called too much attention to himself when he accidentally unleashed an undead plague this time.
Yeah, that was news to us. That had not reached our offices, and
No, he sure didn't want it to.
Yeah, now I can understand why. He's like, we would have sent our soldiers down here. I mean, granted, we might not have been able to, you know, we might not have been able to do it as successfully as all of you, but we would have definitely given the town the help it needed. Well, yes, this will be a situation for the courts to handle for sure. So, with that, you actually see that the black tiefling that you guys met down in Clifford, he is actually, you can see that the Iron Raven Riders is the mercenary group that was hired to travel along with with these men from Cleone to escort this man up to Cleone, because as you guys are taking him out to the carriage, you actually see the same black tiefling that you guys talked to. And when he sees all of you standing there, he has this like brimming smile on his face. And he says, hello, it's good to see you all again.
Guess you managed to get paid to escort him after all.
Oh, I pulled my strings. Can't wait for the court dates. Time will tell of his fate.
Oh, you mean like when you threaten to murder him?
Yeah, in front of everybody.
Hopefully, you don't have any accidents.
You
It
know,
wasn't even a veiled threat. It was straight up. You wanted to watch him die a horrible, horrible death.
Well, it's an understandable sentiment, isn't it?
you see,
Yeah,
like,
no,
you see
it's
some,
like I'm not. Like again, like I'm not holding it against you. I agree with you.
you see some raised eyebrows from some of the members of the naval offices. They look up at him, and he just has this smile, and he says, "Gentlemen, you have my word that nothing of ill intent will happen to this man until he has found justice."
Wink.
Wink.
I wanted to say this earlier, but everything moved forward. That I put this dumb spell. Where is it? I've lost it. It's called disrupt order. I
Yep.
want to say Willow may or may not have used that on him.
To do
During
what
his,
exactly?
Yeah.
Well, it just does random shit. It's got a table
All right. So roll 2d100s
of
then. If you
Oh,
you said you cast it
I didn't
twice.
mean like right now, but like during
Well,
his 5
sure, that's fine. I mean, you'd
things.
still have to roll to see what happens to him.
Well, it doesn't matter that much. I mean,
I'm curious
I
to
mean,
know
it matters. It matters enough that you brought it up.
Yeah,
so
really.
D100.
So let's roll that because some of the things on here could legitimately kill him.
kill him.
There is literally the air in the target's lung flash freezes and it takes 3d8 or 3d6 cold damage. The target's tongue swells to 4 times its size. It cannot speak for a minute. They spontaneously combust and take 2d6 fire damage, and their body begins to implode on itself, taking 66 force damage.
Fuck.
He wouldn't survive some of these.
He is a commoner with like 3 hit points.
They weren't supposed to kill him. It was just supposed to like torment him.
Well, I mean, you're casting a thing that irritates the chaotic energies present in all life. No, that's fine. We will say that it was mostly that you turned his skin green and that the target's hands and feet switch places, potentially causing them to fall prone or drop the things they're holding. So we will say that those 2 things happen during that time. So yeah, Mayor Allard Devry, also known as by his real name Vittorio Tredentru, he is taken away up to the capital of Cleone. So what is it that what is it? So this is kind of where we're going to be. You guys have brought the mayor to justice.
Yeah.
So this is kind of where the end of chapter 1 is going to take place. So there is going to be a bit of a time skip, getting up to where we're going to start, with the rest of this. So, what is everyone's plans from here? And
Well, at least for Osprey, she's gonna write back to head office. So like the whole reason she came out here,
yep.
and she found out that like there's some weird fucking undead person buried in a temple down here that requires further observation because if the seals break again, there could be another undead outbreak.
Yeah. It was way too simple.
So she's basically putting in word like I'm going to. It's like observe and report,
Mm-hmm.
and just sort of like keep up with the locals. Maybe train another death cleric or 2, teach him
Okay.
the ways of killing undead.
All right.
Maybe become the sheriff of the town. I don't know.
Yeah, we can always
Seems like one.
figure that out as time goes by. We can get updates every now and again. Okay.
Toril traveled to Cleone to see Captain Dunbar.
Okay. As for Rook and Willow,
Rook's whole
are we
aesthetic
currently?
requires him to ride off into the sunset.
okay. So what direction is he riding off into the sunset?
That would be the west, where the sun sets.
Just
Always rides off to the west.
So are you? Well, I guess my question there would be, are you intending on playing Rook in the in the continuing chapters?
Yeah, I think I'll stick with Rook.
Okay. All right. So then, Willow, what are you doing?
Where?
What's that?
We're in Britoke, or we're
Yes.
in Cleaning?
You're all currently in Crespri-Toke. This is kind of like the scene, as you guys are like, kind of imagining,
We just finished the heist.
yeah, the mayor is being taken away. The townsfolk here are, in this moment of like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna resume, go back to a bit of normalcy. So this is where Osprey says that she's gonna stay here, report back to headquarters, and then hang out here for a little while. Monty also explains that he is going to stay there for a while. That he has taken a shining to spending time with Paylorian Smith. That the two of them have grown close in just the past week or so that they've been together. So Tor has said that he is going to be traveling up to Cleany to go and speak with the leader of the Sailors Guild in regards to a situation which he kind of already explained to you guys, where he was told that there was there was a situation that he has to handle, and he was looking for a crew, and that was one of the reasons why he came to Crespri-Toke, because one of the bits that he knows is that it's the situation he is going to attempt to handle deals with the undead, and he was looking for people that could handle that kind of stuff. So he's traveling up to Cleany to go and speak with Captain Dunburu about that, and Rook is going to be traveling with him.
All right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what is Willow's
suppose-
intentions?
After hearing his crew story, he'd probably head to the. Where's he going? The big city, Cleany.
He's going up to the capital, yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't been to the capital in a long time. But she is going to change her appearance, being a changeling.
Okay.
And if he's seeking a crew, wait till he's ready. I don't know.
All right. Well,
Explore a big city.
yeah, so that's pretty much where we'll call it. It's going to be a bit of a trek up there, since you guys don't have any sea travel. It is going to be the 225 days. Mostly that is going to be that's going to be a good 10-day for you guys to get up to Cleany. In that time, we will say that is going to be the argument of why there is going to be a new member in your group whenever we pick this back up, as obviously Osprey is not joining, but you guys will have a fourth member.
Did you?
So, yeah.
Is it known that how long is the time skip?
The time skip is going to be from the 12th to the 20. Actually, wait, no, we'll go a little bit further, because we will say that something happens in between. So we're just gonna jump. We're gonna go to the first of the drawing down, first of Nightall, which will be the first of the next month. So you'll have.
I have no idea. What days that is.
Basically, it's going to be. Actually, no. Yes. Yes, I want that to be the time skip. It's going to be about a month, technically, from whenever we started today's session. But from when you guys arrived back in Crespitoke, it will be about like a 10-day and a half.
Oh.
So for what it's worth here.
There's nothing I can do to like swap out.
Swap
So
out
it's
what?
Feast of the Moon
spell.
now.
Yeah, that would be, you guys would be arriving at I'm going to say that you guys will be arriving at Cleone on the 1st of Nighthall. So that is where, here we go. Let me, bing. Here we go. Let me delete this one. Put this one up. There we go.
Oh my goodness. I just opened.
So we will say that on the it's not going to be essentially a straight shot up there. We will say there is small events that happen along the way leading up to there. That is it'll be during that time that you guys will meet your new party member, who. Kind of a new party member, kind of an old party member for technically the group. But we'll also say that that once you guys arrive in Cleone, I'm going to let you guys level up. You'll be level 5.
Yeah.
Hey.
But yeah, you guys will have Andrew. Why don't you go ahead and explain who is joining the group?
So I made Dawn Shadow be a paladin who's gonna come in and just freak you guys out. It's really about it. I mean, it's really about it. There's nothing special about it.
Make sure you send me some of her art, because I do want to make. I'm going to need to make her a token. I think you have sent me some art before of her.
If not, I can just do a quick little.
No.
Oh, that's what the last thing we're talking about. Yeah, I finally got those art assets to load.
Oh, nice.
I had to go in and create a pathway folder,
Ah, gotcha.
because what I was doing is I would just put the folder in that file,
Mm-hmm.
and that apparently meant that the program's like, I don't know what this is, so whatever's in this folder means nothing.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
So I had to go create like sprites, lands, then the folder goes into it. So like make like a branching pathway. It's like, this is what it is. Just god damn it.
Right.
Just
Okay, yeah.
load the goddamn pictures.
No. What I was asking earlier, if I can swap out a spell. Mainly Disrupt Order, because I put it in there to be fun. It was supposed to last like a couple of sessions.
I mean, you're
No.
leveling up, so isn't that something that
I don't know. The sorcerers. But this is just like a small favor. Because I would like to make a new character.
Yeah.
don't
Additionally, when
want-
you gain a level in this class, you can choose one of the sorcerer spells you know and replace it with another spell from the sorcerer list, which must be of a level for which you have spell slots. So yeah, you can replace that, because you're technically along this journey. going from Crespitoke up to the capital of Cleone. That's the time when you guys will have leveled up.
Buy things
Yeah.
with our gold.
Yep.
We didn't get any reward for returning their coffers. But we did it out of the
I mean,
kindness.
we didn't ask for
Lovely.
one, so.
I'll
Yeah, but
say
rewards are something given.
I will say that
We can do-
I will say that they will give you let me see here. I will say they will give each of you 150 gold.
Woo.
Ooh.
Well, new party member.
I'll take half
just
of that
happens
in this
to get
horse.
extra 150 gold.
You can have a horse.
Are you allowing him and his new character to have his ammo? I hope so.
Have
If he's using ammo.
No, so here's the thing, like after that, like I'm going to basically relinquish whatever I had laid claim to because I haven't used any of the walloping ammo, and the Dawn Shadow doesn't use a gun, so I have no
Well,
reason to have those bullets. So Rook
but
can have the
you
other
get
ones.
you get a present instead though.
You get what?
To choose something else
I did.
in
I
lieu of
chose the
help.
Moon Touch Longsword
Oh yeah.
nice.
because she uses a longsword.
So that's sort of what I was asking. You still got access to our original
Well,
yeah.
again, I don't know how much. I don't know what I can or cannot have.
Well, I mean that would be
I
that
literally built the character along the lines of the initial character creation, where I could choose like one uncommon magical item,
Yep.
and I chose a suit of armor.
Yeah, that armor.
Right.
Yeah, because fuck you.
I love that one. I mean, that one's one that I added from Lair magazine. I do like that one. So,
It's either gonna be that or like way I can look at my other character. Can I switch?
well, because what I was going to say is, I mean, technically all the loot that was there, would just be dependent on the rest of the group. Once you guys met up with her, saying
You're
like,
hey, do you...
yeah, it's
That's
like
what I was getting at.
Yeah. So, and like I said, that's all stuff that is going to happen during the time skip. When you guys get to Cleone, it is under the impression that you are going there with the intention, together as a group, to go and talk to Captain Dunburu about this situation. And I'm going to talk with, I'm going to, kind of like over the next week or so, talk with you guys and kind of get that, that time period of, of why you are all heading there. And I guess more specifically with Andrew, just because he's the one making a new character. I do want to
Well, that's
put
sort of what I was getting at. Like, it was simpler to just say we had the treasure and give out the longsword.
yeah.
But
I'm going to post this
you
because
said it was
this is
150?
Captain Dunburu.
Ew.
Is he a dragonborn?
He is not. He is a lizard folk.
No. He's very electric looking. I like it. Like his little scar or whatever the hell that is down his arm.
His veins.
Vein.
Tattoo.
Yeah, but it's like
That's a thick
it
vein.
looks like
Yeah.
not a vein, like some kind of crazy electric base caused scar.
Yeah, this was
Anything.
the original. This was the original image that I was using in my head canon, but I found the other one. I like the other one a lot better because it had the dreadlocks, which to me seemed more piratey.
Piratey. Just stick with stereotypes.
That's right.
It
Well, it's
was
not
150 gold.
because I was expecting more of a hiss in his full.
Oh yeah.
It was 150 gold.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just adding it as gold.
I throw that the initial split in there as well. So just do the lump sum of the 250 plus 150. It's 400 total.
Yeah, we'll say
Yeah.
Dawn Shadow has had adventure up to this point, to give you an equivalency. She is not unexperienced. She is a fighter in her own right.
She's seen things. She's driven people insane. They've given her money.
Yep.
Mostly to go away, but you know.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool, you got rid of the thing, but like, go. It's like, we appreciate the help, but seriously, get the hell out of here.
It's like, yeah, no, get.
Get. We appreciate for killing the demon, but like, get.
I'm having a bear of a time finding a token that has a hood. Oh wait, actually these work. I just have to look up rogues.
I was gonna say mine has a hood. If you mean from the little 1 minute or 2 minute token.
Yeah, 2-minute tabletop token generator. But yeah, I think that's where we'll call it. Like I said, we'll be rolling into chapter 2 next time. So now the thing is that I'll have to. I know one of the days next week I have to go over in the evening to help my mom, so I will let you guys know what works for me schedule wise.
It is cool.
So,
Hmm.
all right.
I'm gonna spend
Well.
days helping my sister move. Eee. And
Lots
eating too much food.
of shit going on. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys later. Like I said, I'll be in touch with you guys to hammer out details before we jump into chapter 2.
All right.
Good.
All right. You guys have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
See y'all.